Damn, I froze at the first second. It was like, ah. I'm Cami.
I can't do it. Him staring at me.
All the noise canceling.
Oh,
This is not tuned. Not tuned at all, but we're going to go with it.
oh no, he's making rice. He can't make rice. He doesn't know how to do it well.
I'm Cami.
And I'm Moni.
And this is
A little chat.
A little Chisme.
Mm.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. What's up, girl?
Did we finally get it down?
I think we did.
What's
if
up?
only you guys knew the time it took us to get here.
This is a very strange feeling to be back.
It is. It is. 4 years later.
Mm.
2020, May, I think, was our last, maybe June, was our last episode.
Yeah. We really...
What's different?
Well, everything. Literally.
What's not different? That's a better question.
Literally, I think every aspect of our lives has changed from our last episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think
I would agree.
For us, it was such a big... the biggest change was that we moved farther away from each other, right? So you had moved to one side of town, I moved to another side of town, and then like technology was not like it was. So here we are. We can connect anywhere. You're in a whole freaking state now. Like, that's a big change.
That I am. Yes. I now live in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. We're outside of Philly. The suburbs of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Which is in Pennsylvania. I feel like most people know that, but go Birds.
I'm glad you educated our audience on where Philadelphia is. Yeah. So
what's new for you?
You moved.
Oh.
Everybody knows. Yeah, we're both.
That's true.
You're hitched and I'm about to be hitched. So that's a huge freaking change, right?
Yes. What a shift. What a shift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember 4 years ago when you didn't want to tell me that you were going to tell him that you loved him?
Yeah, that was funny.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
We're about to get married.
We're trying to think back about like what our last couple episodes were about. And yeah, I remember that being like something that was like the elephant in the room when we were filming or when we would chat. You know, it was like, who's going to say it first? Is that how you feel? Like, you know, we're coming out of the pandemic and we spent the whole time together. So it's kind of like, ooh, what's next? You know, I moved into my first apartment by myself in June, actually. So if our last episode was in May, it was right before that. Because I moved in June. And then 6 months later, I moved in with this guy over here. So yeah.
Look at that.
Changed. Mm-hmm.
A lot of change, a lot of shifting. What about your job?
Nothing's changed there, actually.
Oh yeah, things have changed.
Yeah, you're right. So I just celebrated 5 years with the company, so it lines up. But yeah, a bunch of things happened, and I took on some other positions, and then became a director. So that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half now.
Yes. Hashtag boss babe.
Mm-hmm, but still at the same company. So, you know, still kicking it there. And, well, you too, you've had big changes. I mean, you just decided to move. You got married, right? What about your career change as well? So,
yeah. I feel like we'll probably touch on it a little bit later, but 4 years... I was like, I'm done with education. I need a shift. I need a change. So I decided I wanted to try to work from home. So I had that flexibility. And now I work from home.
That's dope.
Which is awesome. Yeah. And I still am involved in the literary kind of world. I work for a company that has a reading tracker that you can use to track your reading. And
That's cool.
We're in all the schools and libraries, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I get to talk to people, help people, and do my thing.
Your company is cool. So far, I've been noticing like how much of they, like, even though you guys work from home, do you still have a lot of like cool benefits and activities? And didn't you go on a retreat? So like they offer a lot of really cool benefits.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a biannual retreat where twice a year we meet in person, which is awesome for a company to do that because that's a huge expense, but it just really helps build the community. And it's just a great company to work for. The values, everything. Like, I love my job.
That's cool.
It's dope.
Yeah, I mean, originally Cami and I wanted to our first episode to be like us listening to the last episode we did 4 years ago, but we'll figure it out. If we can never, like, we may or may not be able to do it, but at least for us, like coming back and doing this podcast, we can reflect a little bit on where we were when we last met and then kind of jump from there.
Yeah. Now, a side note, if any of you out there have a power cord for a old Mac and you want to help a girl out, much appreciated.
You may be able to find one, so we'll have to see. I may have one too.
Oh, yeah, let me know. It's one of those 3-prong. It's like a thick little
thing. There has to be a friend of ours that has an old Mac around because we gotta try and get that footage.
We do. I should have uploaded it to 4 years ago. The Drive was not a prevalent thing.
Yeah.
Google. I was a Microsoft girly, so I didn't know about the wonders of Google Drive. Listen, that's what the school district wanted to pay for. That's what I did. All right. But
4 years
now
ago,
Google Drive,
things have changed.
Hey, So we're going to dive into the past here. And to do that, I have 2 different containers. This is the first one.
So and it's a little Lego box.
Yes. It is. It is a Lego box because it's time to let go of the last 4 years.
So, side note, she didn't want to show me what the container was, but she wanted my reaction live. And I'm sure she was holding on to that pun for hours now. Okay.
It did not disappoint. Your reaction was clutch.
Yeah.
Babe.
Lego of the past. Goodbye.
Hey. Lego, but also appreciate.
Yeah, a little reflection.
And we release into the world. All right. Are you ready for the first one?
Yes.
It's a nice way to start off here. If you could give yourself 4 years ago some advice, what would it be?
Advice 4 years ago. I mean, we just talked about it. I think that when you're entering something new, whether it's a relationship, work, whatever, like a big opportunity, you tend to kind of hold yourself back because of fear. So I feel like it would be that. It would just kind of be like, don't hold back. Just kind of go for it, I think is what I would say. So that goes across many different aspects. I would just say go for it. Don't let fear like hold you back from just being honest about whatever it is.
I like it.
What about you?
I would say to know when to step back to keep my peace. I think that would be. I got pretty deep into the working in the library, and one of the reasons I decided to step outside of education is the last 4 years, more so the last 3 previous, because the past year I haven't been in education, but it was a lot of trauma, book banning, fighting, and mama didn't raise someone to stay quiet, so I was on the front lines and I spoke up, and I think out of trying to protect other people, I kind of let myself get lost in the sauce a little bit. And so I think protect my peace would be probably like know when to put up your sword, but also know when to put it away.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that a big piece of why you and Jess decided to move? Because Florida was just kind of getting like the the tone was getting bad and it just wasn't supportive to what you guys believe, right?
Yeah, it was just a lot of and I mean, I feel like where we lived, it wasn't so bad. You know, Orlando's got a good mixture of diversity and Kissimmee and things like that. But it was more, you know, what we knew that we wanted to get married because we still lived there when we got engaged. And it was more of thinking family forward because, you know, we want to have kids. Do we want kids to be raised in the Florida education system of, you know, that potentially is going to get very... I can't think of the word right now.
Restrictive? I mean, more than it already
filtered. Yes, filtered and restrictive. Like, is that something that we want our kids to be exposed to? Do we want them to grow up in a more inclusive environment where they see more families that look like ours? Things like that. And also the pay for Jess significantly better up here. Yeah. No, I remember. So it was just time. It was time.
Yeah, I remember... you know, you kind of like reaching that crossroad where you're like, do I even want to be in the education system anymore? Because I don't want to be a part of this, right? Like you just saw the restrictions and the red tape and kind of the way it was going, and it's not something you wanted to be a part of, which sucks because, you know, you make bonds with the kids and like it's such an important role to be in. But when you're not supported as a teacher, as many of them are not, and you can't take the approach you want to take and truly be yourself as an educator, then it's not fun anymore, right? It's not fulfilling, and a lot of teachers leave.
Yeah. That is just something that happens a lot. And for me, it was that, you know, but also the struggle of I want to, because if I'm not there to fight, who's going to do it, you know? Like, who's going to stick up for that kid? Who's going to stick up for that kid that was like me growing up that needed the books that were in the media center, you know, the books where I saw myself. Who's gonna be that me? But it came to a point where it's just like, if I'm not there, then mentally, physically, like, you know, it's like putting the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on somebody else. Like, you can only do so much. So I've been kind of trying to do what I can from here, and I think that the next couple of years I'll still be able to advocate and do some work from a little bit better of a mental headspace. So
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
Looking forward to that.
No, cool.
What's next? Starting off deep here, dog.
Oh God, I know.
So many feelings. Oh man, here we go. We're diving in again. I feel like I need a softball. How has your perspective on life shifted?
I mean, in the last 4 years, I've turned 30.
Ooh.
The 30s club. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's so funny. Like, there's so many cliches in life for a reason that we grow up with and that we hear and everybody knows, right? Like, the cliche of that you feel kind of like you lose a couple F's, like, when you turn 30. I feel that. Can't say that, like, things aren't as important, right? Like, there's still things that are important in my life, or things that, like, we all kind of want to hold on to, as far as like feeling young or different expectations, right? But I think little by little I'm trying to find like comfort in my own skin, and it's still hard, right? I'm still a woman, like I still have my issues, but I think my perspective is very much about like just trying to be as authentic as I can be, and also just not taking on too much. I've always been a people pleaser my whole life. I always want to be an overachiever, but like I really don't need the credit. I have nothing to prove. So I think that's the perspective that's really changed, is like I have nothing to prove. I give as much as I can give, but I also like have really prioritized trying to set boundaries as much as possible, and not trying to let what I think people are going to feel about me setting boundaries hold me back from doing them, you know, or even especially at work or with friendships. Like still trying my best doesn't mean I'm gonna like purposefully lack effort, but just trying to let things pass through too. Like my emotions, my stress, my anxiety, or whatever is going on in my life, just trying to embrace it and let it pass, you know. But I could do a lot of, I could still do better with like the way I process things, but definitely it's about like allowing it to happen, setting the boundary, and really not overworking myself for the sake of others, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a good life shift perspective. I feel like it's commonly what happens in your 30s, you know?
Yeah,
you
maybe
like reflect on yourself.
Maybe it's just because like it's a new era and you just have this mindset where you're like, okay, like my 20s are over. I want to be more established in life, or like whatever it is that your goal is at that new era of your life. I think it's a natural mindset. That's why the cliche exists. Probably because it's truly just like, okay, you're entering a new decade. What are you going to do with these next 10 years? You know, I think it makes us all stop and think, okay, how am I going to spend the next 10 years?
Yeah, it's that dirty 30. Little scoundrel.
Yeah.
Also, I can appreciate like the growth and especially, you know, trying to navigate from that people pleasing standpoint, you know, the growth that just comes with that alone is being able to look at yourself and say, hey, I really want to make this person happy, but is this what's best for me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that's a big piece of growing up and getting older.
Mm-hmm.
As far as me and my shift, I would say a lot of me in the past 4 years, it's been just recognizing my emotions more, and being able to express them better. I think that also just being able to regulate like my attention.
Yeah.
Kind of discovered that I have an attention problem. So coming to terms with that, what that means, and
right.
and how to better structure life to fit the way that my brain works has been a big piece. But honestly, just emotional regulation for the most part, and being able to just grow in that aspect, recognizing, you know, that not everything is an attack or not everything is against me. But also being able to like focus more on that positive energy that life has.
Yeah.
That would be mine.
Yeah, I mean, I think us too, like getting into these serious relationships and then maintaining them for all these years, it really it's like a microscope on that, right? Like a magnifying glass, more so.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll have episodes in the future that like really get into those intricacies, but like it's like a magnifying glass on, whoa, like who you are and how you handle things and your emotional regulation is like so huge. When long term with somebody, you really see what your habits are, what your tendencies are. And so navigating that, is very interesting.
Yes. And I know we talked about it. I know that we talked about it episodes before in the very beginning. I used to live with 3 counselors.
Right.
And myself, and someone that never talked about my feelings, being able to even navigate that world, much better at talking about them now. Fun fact. But yes, relationships require growth and flourishing. All right, let's lighten it up. I picked one out of the box.
Out of the Lego box.
Yeah, see, it's catching on for you. I know it. All right, must see show.
Ooh, okay. So when thinking about this, I mean, there's so many, right? But if I think about 2020, obviously we had plenty of time to like binge watch shows and movies. And one that Bobby introduced me to is Outlander. So that is my number one recommendation. It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. I think the last season, I think it's 6 or 7, just released like this month. And it's the last season of the show ever. So Bob and I rewatch it every single year. Yes, it's exhausting.
Wow.
But it's a great show. And so if you like period pieces, if you like little romance, it's based on a romance novel. So
I was gonna ask, have you read the books?
no, but once we finish the show, we're gonna have like a little like duo book club. So if you want to join the book club, we're gonna probably listen to it in an audiobook. I don't know if I'm gonna maybe I'll do the physical as I do the audio, but we're gonna read the books to see how they compare to the show. But
All right.
it's such a good show, and it takes you on an emotional roller coaster for sure.
Okay.
What's the show I need?
If the show is that, mine is not as intricate at all.
That's okay.
Mine was The Rookie.
What is that? I haven't seen that.
It's a cop show. It's like this guy that is in his 40s, and he has, I think it came out in 2018, but I didn't watch it until the past 2 years. I think the past like year. I watched it a year ago.
Okay.
And now I'm caught up. But he is in his 40s. He has like this awakening and decides that he wants to be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the middle of getting a divorce. He's like, I want to be a cop. So it's just him being a 40-year-old rookie in the police force and just working his way up.
Okay. Why is this the must?
Years.
Why is this the must?
It's just
show? It's fine. It's cool. I love cop shows.
It's a feel-good show. You know, it's like just gives you good vibes. Like, it's a good sit and enjoy, you know? Like, doesn't require too much thinking. You can just play it.
Yeah.
I'll always plug The Office also for those moments.
Well, let me tell you, have you seen Abbott Elementary? Because I love Abbott Elementary. Is so freaking funny. Like,
it is.
I love I watched it too fast, and I was so pissed at myself for like binging it and just letting it play because it was done, and I was like, I need another season. It was so funny. I love Abbott Elementary.
Yes.
So good.
And it's so accurate.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yes. Highly recommend. That's a good one. And that's also a good, and the episodes go so quick. I heard there was like a secondary school version of it. And I can't remember the name, old school, or it's called something. Yeah, I'll have to look it up and I'll let you know. But I wanted to watch it to see because they said it was similar. But Abbott Elementary takes place in Philly. So just...
It does. That's right. That's right. It does.
Little plug there. Let's jump into another. Oh, okay. Thanksgiving was last week.
Yeah.
What was or what is some of your favorite, what's your staple Thanksgiving dish, and also your favorite activity? Like, what's something you do? Do you do anything?
I didn't do it this year, which, I mean, I need to make sure that like I keep my traditions because traditions are super important to me. So I need to catch up on it. But I usually watch The Wizard of Oz every Thanksgiving because that's my grandmother's, like, that was our Thanksgiving tradition every year. So, and also playing Monopoly was always a tradition. So I kind of need to kind of pick up on those things again, and not let those die. But my favorite Thanksgiving food, that's hard. I mean, I love a green bean casserole. I really do. Like, there are some traditional, like, quintessential Thanksgiving dishes that I really do like. I love cornbread. I love the green bean casserole with the mushroom sauce. I love sweet potato casserole. I love pernil. That's something I didn't grow up with. I had pernil as a dish because my mother doesn't eat pork, but I do.
Green bean casserole.
I know. Stop. I'm sorry. It's so good, though. It's really good.
Just love green bean casserole.
It's so good.
You also have veggie trays at your events, I feel like.
Veggie trays? No, I don't do a veggie tray.
Yeah, you talked about a veggie tray before.
A veggie tray? No?
Yeah,
what?
No. Maybe it was somebody else. Never mind. Green bean casserole.
I'm really excited to. I'm really excited to host in the future, and then maybe make some new food traditions of my own, right? Like, have some new dishes. I mean, there are so many other cultures that do seafood instead, or they'll do Chinese food, or so that would be fun to play around with one year. But I just love, like, to only have these foods on Thanksgiving. I put them all on the plate. I mix the flavors. I'm a mixer. I have one bite of this, one bite of that. I'll put it all in the spoon or the fork and I'll eat it. Like
That's
I
the
don't
way you do
separate.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way.
The one day of the year that I have these things and I don't have them again until the next year. So whatever, I take advantage. But we were lucky enough to have 2 Thanksgivings this year because we went to my uncle's and then we went to Bobby's cousins and we had all the food. It was so good.
Nice.
What about you? What are some traditions that you grew up with and that you want to carry on too?
Funny enough, Monopoly. That's
Really?
yeah. I never knew that about you, but me and my cousins.
I never knew that about you guys.
Yeah, we would always play Monopoly on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the thing.
Yeah.
I'd give them the whoopings, but
of course.
But that's something. This year, I stayed here for Thanksgiving, so that's something I missed. We did Thanksgiving with Jess's fam. We did still play games, so that's cool. So I guess game playing, but Monopoly, will always have a place in my heart. And dish-wise, just chocolate cheesecake. My aunt makes this bomb chocolate cheesecake.
That sounds
so
really
it has
good.
like espresso powder. It's so rich and like flavorful. And Jess made it for me this year because she knew I was gonna miss it. Wife of the year, right there.
That's so sweet.
And yeah,
she's the best baker too. Ooh,
so good. So good. But yeah, so that would be my thing.
Nice.
All right.
That sounds delicious.
Yes. It's very good. We're gonna do this next one. I pulled it out. Perfect timing, and then we're gonna do a light one after that. Because this one's kind of all right. The most memorable piece of unsolicited advice you've received in the last 4 years.
Unsolicited advice.
I'm gonna jump in with mine.
Yeah. Please do, because I need time to think.
So, something that I like, the most memorable piece of advice that I've gotten the last 4 years. Just the last year, and I can't remember. I think it was at one of my work retreats. We were just sitting by the fire talking, and one of the people was like, "You have to." Remember, like, when we were talking about getting married and relationships and stuff, and they were like, the person that you marry is the person that's going to get you through the death of your parents. Yes. And that hit me so hard. I was like,
it's sad.
Oh. It's sad, but it's like, it puts life into it puts that piece into such a big perspective, because it brings along with it thinking about, this person as a caretaker, as a caregiver, and everything that comes along with that. Because, when you lose your parents, that's hard. That's a very, very tough thing to go through, and knowing that, remembering that, because I feel like when you think about the future, at least for me, I didn't think about that. That's not, when I thought about being with Jess for forever, like, when you think about things, like, you don't think about, I mean, at least I don't, because I live in this annoyingly optimistic world where I don't like to think about negative things. That positive energy always flowing. Like, I don't think, tragic. I think, what tragic thing, but I don't specify, hey, death of my parents, death of a child.
You think about what's going to be added, not what's going to be taken away, or things that you will go in the future. Yeah.
So I was just, that was like a whoa to me, like, oh snap.
Yeah.
That's like a thing. And it was kind of cool because, I can comfortably say, like, Jess is a great person that's going to be able to help me through that, and
right.
I can't talk about it too much without getting emotional, but that was just a really good piece of advice. And I feel like it's so prevalent to think about, and can really put into perspective for you if you're ever on that fence. Like, can they, can this be someone that supports me through that? And
I don't know. I have things to think about.
Nah, girl.
I need to rethink.
You too close.
We have like 47 days left. I need some time to think. I mean, wow, yeah. Yeah, you don't think about that. I mean, I don't think like that's not typically where you want to go, right? I have thought about like I have nightmares, and one of my nightmares is losing when I like lose a family member, and it's inevitable, right? But it's just it presents itself in my life right now as a nightmare, right? Because it's probably the worst thing that can happen, and the thing that I know is going to be super impactful when it does happen. So it's like, hey, you don't want to think about that, but it's true. And so when you want to pick who your partner for life is going to be, you want to make sure that they can provide that comfort support through the toughest times of your life, including losing family members that you love. So yeah, I mean, who is it that gave you? Who is it that like?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I mean, I don't think I've gotten like that kind of perspective in the last 4 years. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, I can't come up with something.
I know it's an old person, so it's just like someone old and wise. Just trying to like pass on their wisdom.
Cool.
So, yeah, but I remember thinking, that's depressing as fuck. But also, damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Those are the things that are important. Yeah. Because when you need the most, help and support, right, is when you want to lean on the person who's closest to you. And if you can't do that, then there's an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, what comes up to me, it's not a person like that I know, but I know we have had this conversation before where I told you one of my favorite authors is Brene Brown. So one of the conversations that we've had and the things that I've learned from her, which I guess is unsolicited, like knowledge advice, right, would be that kind of checking in with your partner, or just maybe even your friends, right? Like, as friends, you want to reach out to each other and you have expectations that like your feelings and emotions are reciprocated. So this is across all types of relationships, but like when you are at your lowest or when you are having a hard time in life, right? Like you just can't give 100%. So if you can identify what percent you're able to give and able to communicate that with the people around you, that's super important, right? So if you feel I'm at a 60% today, I can only give this much. And the other person can say, okay, I'll spare you the other, I'll support and I'll be able to provide the other 40. It's like that kind of communication, I feel like is the goal. And I think that's something that I try and like push through because it's still hard for me, like we didn't grow up really being able to identify like our emotions or just be able to like identify it so clearly to others. And I think it's just a bit of fear. It's a bit of embarrassment. I mean, that's my experience. Like it just doesn't feel natural to do so because you always want to seem like you're always at 100 or you've got it, or you want to push aside what's really going on, but you can't. Realistically, it's impossible to do that. So I feel like just being very, again, clear and communicative with where you're at with the people around you is always going to be helpful, and it's always going to strengthen your relationship. So that's something I try to take away since I heard it, and I try and put it into practice as much as possible. And, I think that's something that's stuck with me in the last 4 years.
I think that's solid. Yeah, I remember us talking about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you said it all. It's just really good. Good to check in, good to have those honest conversations. And sometimes check in with yourself too. Be like, wait, I'm not there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Let go. And move on now.
Are we getting into our future now?
Yeah, we're shifting to the future, and for this carrier, oh no, where'd you go?
I'm still here.
Oh,
did I disappear?
You did for a second, but you came back, and that
I got a little message that said something about being unstable, but I'm stable. I'm here. I'm good. I didn't lose you.
Insert the meme of the
I'm a
frog with
little, I don't
fire.
know, glass of this. I may not be as stable as I was 2 minutes ago, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Ew. Stable
I haven't
enough.
had dinner yet. I'm stable though. I'm stable. I'm stable, girl. Come on, keep it coming.
All right. So this is an homage. This carrier of things is a shout out to our fans and the people that encouraged us to start this back up again. It's not.
Oh. Oh, so then what is it homage to?
A mug that says "Yo the best."
The best.
Cause yo the
I
best.
had that mug at work.
Twinsies. These are the carriers of our future questions.
Okay, great.
But yeah, peeps, fishbowl peeps. Yo the best.
Aw, so cute.
Fishbowl also would have been a good idea, but I didn't think about that one. You know me and my puns.
Mm-hmm.
So some ASMR for you.
Oh my god, please, Al. I hate
What
ASMR.
is Okay. What is one goal that you have professionally or personally for the future?
A goal.
A goal in mind.
You have anything that comes up right away?
I do actually.
Okay. Share.
Mine is my health. Yeah. We are starting the process for y'all out there of trying to have a kid. So
Yay.
yeah. So thinking about that and thinking about the future and what that looks like I want to be at my best self for that kid. And I want to be able to run around and play and go on a hike without dying. And I just want, and it's not like I don't have a specific weight goal in mind. I just want to feel healthy. I want to feel like I can run up a mountain and come back down not in a stretcher. So
right.
That would be my goal. I just got these new weights because in the winter time it's super cold. I like to work out in the morning. Preface with that. I like to get it done first thing because I feel like it gives you that natural energy. And
for sure.
But the gym obviously you have to drive to, and it's cold here. It's 10, 20 degrees outside, and your girl just don't be wanting to go outside in the cold that early. So I decided to buy some free weights and try to do some stuff here. And maybe go for a run or something. People really like running. I don't.
You know what? That's something that developed over the last 4 years because Bobby, I mean, you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go to the gym, right? All these communal spaces were off limits. So he was like, let's go for a run. I was like, oh, my knees. No, still 20s. I'm complaining about my knees. Goodbye. And he just started, I started with a light jog. I was like, okay, I'm dying, and little by little, I really started to acclimate towards the feeling and the runner's high. And honestly, I really do enjoy it. I rather run to and do a run in the community and on a sidewalk or on grass or whatever, rather than the treadmill. But I get it. I kind of like it too. I mean, it's any type of exercise. It's a whole journey to get me there, but once I'm there, I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah, maybe I'll feel that. I don't know. I will say I went for a hike here with Jess and the boys last fall. It's been a while, but last fall, and I was chasing the dogs through, and I was kind of jogging. I don't run. I was jogging through this trail, and I was okay, this is kind of fun. And I don't know if it's just because it was a trail versus like a sidewalk. That made it more interesting to me. I was like, maybe I can understand why people do this. So downloading the Strava app.
Okay.
I'll throw my friend thing or whatever, and you guys can follow along on my not running journey.
How can I help you in this goal?
I don't know.
Like, what do you need me to do? Do you need me to check in and be like, yo, did you like do some weights today? Or do you need me to like ask for a pic?
That might be helpful, you know?
You ask for a pic every week and say, give me a pic of when you worked out this week. Like, what do you want me to do?
Accountability, buddy. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's like check in, be like, yo, it's 9:00. You hit them weights yet?
Well, we're meeting every Tuesday now, so now it's gonna be like a week second at this point. Like, you're gonna have to tell me what reached your.
We can do goal. That. We can do a little quick goal check at the beginning of our sessions here. What's yours though, so that we can.
I just think survival.
Okay. Hey, how about yours is getting down the aisle? Like, that can be a short-term goal.
I mean, we're going to reach this goal. We just got our marriage license. So, like, that goal will be reached. I feel like there's always ways that we can improve, right? So, I mean, my health is one of them, too. I always have this battle. My whole life, I've had a battle with my body image and, like, I'm just a girl, you know, it is what it is. Excuse me. But I think for me, it's just trying to like feel comfortable in my skin and also make the aesthetic improvements that I want to make. But I have to put work towards it, and I haven't. And so I take accountability for that, right? Like, I've been slacking.
Feel you there.
So I think for me, a realistic goal or a realistic way that I can improve is taking classes, trying Pilates. Like, that's something I've wanted to do for a long time. So I think that's the first step for me, is finding classes. I always wanted to do dance classes. They have some in Orlando. I think trying to make, and I like going to the gym. It's just getting there. It's the hardest part for me. Once I'm like, okay, this machine, that machine, running, like yoga, all of these things. I do enjoy it. I feel like I just don't like the crowds at the gym. It's just so busy, and I have a Crunch membership, so it's just so busy. Every time I have the chance to go, it's like when it's the most crowded. So
Crunch is popular too.
It's pretty popular, especially with like young people in college, like I guess that age group. So just trying to figure out what that looks like, but definitely like health, feeling good, and longevity, right? Like, I mean, we keep coming back to that. I think that's the perspective that both of us have gained, is like trying to make sure that we can do as much as we can to like live a long life, be healthy. We want to have kids in the next couple of years, so making sure our bodies are primed and ready for that. I
mean, Jess is popping the kid out, but
I know, still, right? Like,
yeah,
like
I know.
You have to run around and play and have the energy, right? Like, energy is important. So honestly, I recently, for Black Friday, I ordered these Love Wellness supplements. So that's a big deal for me because I do not take pills. So I'm going to start there. Also, I haven't been to the doctor in years. I'm not going to lie.
Girl. Same. Well, I was like that, but Jessica is very good at maintaining. She don't want me to die, so she makes sure I get my blood and all those things. You got to do that.
So I have to scratch everything I said, and like that has to be my first.
Go to the doctor.
Scratch the gym, scratch the this. Like, I really need to just get a general checkup and start there. So,
when's the last time you went to the dentist?
To the dentist? I don't know. It's a couple years ago.
4 years?
After, I know, in the last 4 years, have I? Oh God, I don't know. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Trust me. Your first trip's gonna suck because they're gonna make you do the deep cleaning. I went years without going. You got to do it. Your teeth are actually very important to your heart health. So, fun fact for you there.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna get on you. I'm gonna get on you about going to the doctor.
Yeah. So, if you want to harass me, I think that's the way you're gonna get through, is if you just harass me and like shame me into doing it.
I will do what I do with my wife, and I'll get your info for what your health insurance is, and I'll make the appointment for you. How about that?
No.
I'll just let you know, hey, you got to go this day and do this.
I know. It's bad.
I like it though. It's good. We're going to grow. That's the point. That's the point here. All right. And speaking of grilling, what's one skill that you would like to develop?
One skill I would like to develop.
Jump in for this one too. Actually, I've been rethinking about this recently. Go for it.
I want to do like a mixology class and kind of I want to learn how to make drinks.
Okay. So you're saying we're going to have a little drinky drink episode here where you teach us how to make something. All right. I like it. Yeah. Very good. Very good. That's a theme coming down the road. Maybe if we have your friend on that does.
Oh, Jackie. She makes amazing drinks. Yeah.
Maybe that can be her. If she wants to come on the pod, that can be like a little theme
Shout out
episode.
to Jackie. She has a podcast called Situations that she does with her sister Jocasta, and I don't know if they're gonna come back. They gotta kind of get their next season going, but she makes amazing drinks. So honestly, yes, that will be another episode where we share a really good recipe.
All right, I like it. For me, I'm gonna say I took art classes when I was a kid, and actually before we moved here I got into pottery, so I started doing a pottery class. So I think I want to take a painting class here, just as a way for me to redevelop that skill, like refamiliarize myself with it, and also like meet new people, make friends up here.
Yeah,
I don't really have friends up here. It's okay though. I got this. I can talk to you. I play games with the boys.
Like, yeah. That would be really cool. I mean, you should just go on Instagram, go on TikTok, because in Orlando, obviously, there's a lot of like different events that people throw. But I recently learned about this group called the Sketchbook Club Orlando. And they literally host on a monthly basis, just like a meetup. People go and sketch, they paint, they have watercolors, or they're just cool. So they just bring their own art materials and they have some there. And they've done it in all different spaces in Orlando, all different vendors. And it just looks so fun. Every time this event goes on, I'm either out of town or busy or I can't go. But I really want to go because it's meant for that. It's networking or just like meeting new people in Orlando. So I think I'll
have to look it up and see if there's something like that here.
There has to be.
That's really cool. I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, there has to be.
True. I'll look into it. I'll check back in on that one. How will our friendship grow in the next few years?
Well, when I become a titi.
Hey-o.
I know. I know that this will be a whole journey for like you and Jess, so you share as you want to, but no matter what happens, like when that time comes, when you have kids, like I can't wait for that. So that's going to change, right? Like those responsibilities and those like dynamics will change, but I'm excited to be another titi to
Yeah. Also, you probably, I would assume at some point in the next couple of years too, Same thing. The distance is gonna be tough, I feel like it's always hard in general. Even when we weren't that far from each other, but we were in Orlando, I was in Kissimmee or St. Cloud, I think is where but I think this is good. Like I like this for us. I feel like like talking to each other on here, and I look forward to just seeing us grow up more, like we've kind of seen each other since that awkward teenage stage, grown into the awkward college stage, the young adulthood, and figuring ourselves out and who we are, to now getting married, getting engaged, starting our lives with like seeing ourselves grow not only through us as people but with other people. It's just been really cool to kind of see that process, and to just have your underlying support as well, you know, throughout all of it. So
God, what is going on? Stop it right now. Here, we're going to input a clip of my wedding speech. Yeah, I stole the show. No, it's funny. Abe, so Abe, who officiated Cami's wedding, is also going to be officiating mine. So I'm super excited. Shout out Abe.
Also asked Abe if he wanted to come on the pod, and he said yes. So
yeah,
another guest we'll have.
Heck yeah. So Abe was just like making a joke. He was like I don't know who else spoke, but like your speech was like beyond. It's so good. I was like, that's right, I'm a speech maker.
You got me, girl. You made me cry.
No, but for sure, I feel the same way, right? Like, I think we're really fortunate to have maintained a friendship for this long, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like I don't feel any different. I still feel like I'm 18, 25. Right? I don't feel my age. I can't believe we have to adult like this.
Yes.
But maybe that won't go away. Maybe it will. But no matter what comes, you just kind of, you go with it, you grow. The age increases, but it's like your spirit, right? I feel like I hope to always have like a young spirit. And like we just talked about, we want our bodies to reciprocate that, right? Like we want to feel the energy, and we still want to feel like we're can move and to interact and eventually grow our families. So yeah, I'm excited for that too. And I mean, distance is distance. Like there's people in Florida that I see a couple times a year. So we've made it work. We've seen each other. We travel. Philly's not that far. And I love Philly. And also, I know I'm going to be harassed by you for years to come to try and convince me to move to Philly. So
yeah. We just got to get Bobby like a Sherpa, like a bubble of warmth.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to know what our friendship will look like in the next couple of years, it's going to be Cami harassing me and secretly texting Bob that she found land to come move to Philly because we're going to make a plant. What do you call it?
A commune, but I'm pretty sure that's the wrong word. I always say the wrong word. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's staying on this. What? What is a combine?
I think that's the word. You got like a bunch of houses. Yeah, like a bunch of houses. But you got like
maybe it is. I mean, you're the librarian, so I'll take your word for it.
Big word, me no.
No, me no. I'm just who doesn't know.
I feel you though, me neither. I don't know. I think combine, but I think that's the wrong word. Commune? Someone will correct us here. Someone's gonna tell us the right
fine.
word.
We're just dumb.
Yes, somebody please correct us here. But yeah, that is what the future will look like. I'ma make a nice little space for y'all. Be like, Bobby, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure Bobby's got a bubble of heat. We'll give him a little Florida room, some humidity. Greenhouse.
Yeah, Cami keeps talking about Bobby because he's such a Florida man and he loves alligators and he loves the heat and he loves the sweat and he loves the Everglades and he loves all these Florida things, and I don't think he'll ever leave Florida, even though he says he's open to it. I don't believe him. And he's also has like really dramatic asthma, so him and the cold are not a good mix. He wheezes, he gets really affected by the cold. So I don't think the hopes of me ever moving anywhere up north is just dead.
Your house will be the most humid house in all of Pennsylvania.
We'll just like live in like a bubble, and it's just like sand. It's like Sandy Cheeks, like in SpongeBob. She lives in the like glass igloo, but it's like she controls the temperature in there. So like a humid bubble. Yeah,
I'm gonna make you a Sandy Cheeks igloo. over here.
Great.
And we'll get you guys down here. You don't worry
I'm
about
good.
that.
Bob can live by himself. I love
You
the
can
cold.
commute.
I'm thriving. It's like 40 something degrees this morning, and it went up to 60 and back down to 40. I'm thriving.
I heard the weather's really nice down there right now.
It's so good. It's so good.
All right. Last piece of moving forward. I'm not going to throw this cup, though. We're just going to place it right here.
Let's not.
No, I won't. But what guests are we going to have? We kind of touched on that a little bit. We've touched on Jackie potentially coming on. Abe said yes. Also, shout out to Scrunchy Moms.
Yes.
Whoa.
Shout out. Yep. So Lila and Savannah from Scrunchy Moms podcast are going to come on. And so we'll figure out kind of where we want to go with that episode. But they already said yes. So we're super excited. We're going to have Des on. I think we just talked about Des and and figuring out how we're Tiango. Yeah. We're going to see.
I haven't asked him yet, but
he's going to come on. He's going to say yes. I know. I think one thing we want to do is just like have our friends on and kind of play into their interests or their niches, whatever they're interested in, and just have fun and talk. And again, these are friends we've had for years and years, so it's just nice to kind of invite our community and just get all of them involved. And some of these are repeat guests because
they are
the Fishbowl fam.
Fishbowl fam.
We didn't even touch on why we had to change the name, but like long story short, a really big casting company stole our name.
They did.
So we had to change it. And where it came about, we tried ChatGPT. ChatGPT was coming up with corny ass responses. So I just sat and thought about, okay, what is something like specific to Cami and I? And every time Cami has something juicy to tell me, she'll text me, I have chisme or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for it because I love the chisme. I want to know all the details. So then I went to ChatGPT and I said, okay, give me like a title with chisme. And I didn't like any of them. And I saw a little combo and I was like, a little chat, a little chisme. Okay.
A little
so
chat,
I thought that was really catchy.
chisme.
Yeah.
I like it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
this is why we are now. Yeah, we are back. Real quick, before we go, we forgot to mention our very first guests on the podcast are going to be our Siggos.
Oh yeah, who?
Jessica and Bobby are going to be our first guests, episode 4. And we're going to talk all about love.
Are we though?
Probably not. We'll probably talk about random stuff. But
yeah, I mean,
just
Cami's married. I'm getting married in January. So I thought it would be fun for us to like get together and maybe do some kind of like post-marriage, pre-marriage, like interaction, whether it's like a quiz or a questionnaire, whatever.
We should do like the wedding game.
Oh, with the shoe, that thing?
No, it's like I'll explain. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but it'll be fun to catch us like right before we're about to go down the aisle, and it'll be like a fun episode to figure out. So we're excited for that.
Yeah. And before we go today, let's talk about next episode, which is going to be a little spicy.
Oh.
Next week's episode is all about our hot takes.
Hot takes, yeah.
Speaking of chisme.
I don't know. I got to figure out some juicy hot takes to bring to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Me too. But we will, as always, with our theme, we like to bring you guys along on the journey. So we're going to ask you too. Let us know what do you want to know some hot takes about? Are there hot takes? You want to know if we are pro pineapple on pizza? Yes, by the way. Yes, pineapple pepperoni pizza?
Yes. With a little hot honey on top?
Mm-hmm. Or a little balsamic glaze, depending on where you're going. But anyway, things like that. So that's your jobs, is to throw us some hot takes. We're going to be on YouTube now. Moni wants to dive into the YouTube world. So
really, Moni? I thought I thought you wanted to as well. I don't know.
Yeah, we can do it, you know? I'm in it for the ride. So in the comments, since we're gonna be on YouTube, drop a hot take you want us to talk about.
Oh, let me preface this. So Lila, our scrunchy moms, Lila and Savannah, they did tell us that if we're going to embark on this journey, to be prepared for the trolls and the haters on all these social medias, la 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 la. I told her we're not doing the TikTok because I have no time for TikTok, but we'll keep up with Instagram, and obviously we'll be on YouTube. So of course we're open to feedback, but if you're mean and you say some shit, I don't care. Okay? Just letting you know.
That is one of the main reasons I did not want to dive into.
I'll take constructive feedback. You know, if I say a couple too many times, I get it. I'm working on it. But if you're just mean or an asshole, goodbye. You're canceled. I don't care.
Yeah. I deal with enough of that sometimes in support tickets, and I don't need it from you.
Right.
So no haters. We're gonna get haters. All right. This was our episode 1.
Thank you all for listening. Welcome back with us. Mm-hmm.
Thanks for playing along to a little chat.
Oh no, not the out of tune ukulele. Well, thanks for
tuning in, guys.
Yeah, we will work on what social medias we are going to be a part of, but just check us out on Instagram and here on YouTube as well.
We do also have a Facebook.
Oh, we have a Facebook. Oh my God, for the geriatric.
Yeah.
See, we're all inclusive in this podcast, okay? So thanks for listening.
Sure. Mm-hmm. This was a little chat.
A little chisme.
Adios.